Is it me or is something shifting? Something shifting. Yesterday, I had vertigo. I mean, I don't think I've ever, maybe once in my life when I was pregnant, I don't know. Like, and I just want to say, like, I am someone with a history and just an experience in this dream, right? In this lifetime of not much body symptoms, and I'm very grateful for that. So when anything comes up in my body, I do very much pay attention and observe it, use it for my mind training, use it to see what I'm believing, what I'm questioning, using literally, I mean, this is a perfect moment to introduce myself. I'm Steph. Welcome to the page. And this is Spirit Led Steph. Ultimately, having this channel and using this space to share my journey, share the life that I've devoted myself to, which is not any specific form or looking, not a specific job or a thing, but rather a life led by the Spirit. That means that whatever form it takes, whatever purpose shifts, whatever mission comes up, it is because it's been pulling at my heart. It's because I'm listening to the call of the heart. It is because I'm following the Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is guiding all of this, right? And so that is my devotion. And showing up here on YouTube has been a practice, a consistent practice for me, and has been part of my own huge internal shift, which has been very symbolic. But the shift I'm talking about today is it feels like a bigger shift, right? But it's ultimately a reflection of what's happening within us, what's happening within the mind. We are really beginning to, at a collective level, right? Which, everything is ultimately one, but at a collective level, we are feeling there's this change, this awakening, this rising, this raising, right? Like if we had to use words to to explain what's actually happening, a raising in frequency, more fractals of the one mind are beginning to light up. We're all beginning to light up and wake up, and this YouTube is becoming a medium to that awakening, to that light shining, to that expansion, right? To that frequency being raised. And everything's aligning for it. Like we're aligning into it. YouTube's aligning for it, because ultimately it's not really the algorithm, or it's not YouTube, or it's not my parents or the job. It's all the things are beginning to shift. The call is greater to be authentic, to be true to what's showing up. The call is louder to start saying no to the things that we really don't want and saying yes to the things that we do. This is listening to the Spirit, right? This is leading with the heart, living a life of integrity. And we start doing it by making daily decisions, daily choices, new choices that take us out of our comfort, that take us into joy, that take us into empowerment and confidence, because these things are things that sort of like are innate within us, but many of us, due to our programming and due to what we've learned and due to all our past concepts, right? And even probably generational lifetimes of just patterns that are stuck within us, we do not experience the confidence. We do not experience the conviction. We have not yet fully gone into integrity. And that is because we've lived a life or lives, right, within the psyche, because it's all this one mind, this projector that is experiencing all of it, that is putting it out. And now we're shining the light upon ourselves. We're learning who we are. We're seeing our own power. And we are sharing it through mediums like this. We are sharing it with each other. We're sharing it in circles. And all of that is just, it's been building up and building up to a tipping point. And I really feel like, I don't know about astrology, I'm not an astrologer. I respect the modality, and I think it has beautiful things to reflect and teach us, depending if we feel called to it on our path, to reveal things that help us awaken and open our hearts more. So if it's helpful, beautiful, like any modality, really. But ultimately, it's all leading us, all these modalities are leading us to discover what's truly within us and to discover the limiting projected experience that we've created, right? That we've manifested automatically just by living the patterns of the ego, by living what the ego, consciousness has controlled for many years. And the ego is not something separate to us. The ego is something that we are tapped into. It is collective, right? We have the collective ego mind and we have the collective spirit mind, the mind of love. One is true, one is an illusion. And yet we have the power to power either one, right? We tap into one, which is the truth, and the other one, we power it, because we have the mind that has caused it, that has projected it to not look at ourselves. And yet, when we wake up, we go from being lost to it's like an understanding, to really a true understanding, all of it. Yeah, it's like, I heard this other wonderful YouTuber. She was speaking about her experience on waking up, and literally, it's like, are you sleeping in the dream, or have you awakened from the dream, and are you living in the dream? And so this, I think, is like what the shift is about. I don't know if you guys have felt something. Write it in the comments if you felt anything shifting or changing for you in the last couple days. Maybe specifically yesterday. It was very specific yesterday for me, and that happened to align symbolically with this full moon in Scorpio, I believe it was, or Sagittarius. You see, I don't know this stuff, but anyhow, I don't pay much attention to that stuff, only if I feel called to it in any given moment, right? Because that is what a spirit-led life is. And so I'm open to all of it, but it's not something that I follow or lead my life by, because I understand that the projection includes all of it. They all, even the moon and the sun, the nature, it is a reflection of our understanding, right? It is symbolic reflections, either witnesses to love and truth or witnesses to the ego, fear, death, separation. And so that's what the projection holds. That's what it's doing the whole time. And we're here to watch our mind, to free ourselves from the egoic patterns that have literally constricted our life and our experience, and begin to shed all of this. This is what we're here for, so that we can really experience the light and joy of God that we are, the love that we are, this container, this full holding awareness and space, which is even before God, right? God is beyond it. The Course in Miracles is teaching us God is even beyond consciousness, right? So that's a whole other video in and of itself, but it's still getting to that awareness, to that pure consciousness is almost like the last stage of this experience of really, really, living our beingness, of expanding our light, of experiencing joy, and literally, dissipating that joy, activating others, because we're all one, right? The mind is one. And so either we're waking up together, and we are, because this is what the shift is this is what it's representing. This is what it's showing us, It's showing us how connected we are. It's showing us how we're awakening to the dream, within the dream. And yet there's so much to unravel and experience, even in just this moment of like, what true joy is, what is our highest excitement, right? Like the invitation is to find out who we are and now begin to step into the choices that feel guided, that feel true. And to get into a place of guidance, we have to be watching the mind, to become aware, discerning what is the language of God, what is truth, and what is the language of the ego that speaks to me all the time. Discern it, become aware of it, release it, and this is a process that begins to happen, and we give ourselves grace moment to moment, because even in any moment revelation comes, right? Heaven is here now. Heaven, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It always has been at hand. It is so close to us. It is available now. It is within. It is at the reach of where we are in any given moment. And so we're learning this. Yes, 111, 1111. As I say that, we're learning this all together. We are coming to this realization of who we truly are collectively, which is just really the one, right? Seeming fractals of this one are beginning to wake up, and the light's beginning to shine through, and the frequency is elevated, right? The love is the access to love, right? Because love in and of itself doesn't need to, it just expands, it just extends. We're extending, we're feeling that expansion, and it's radiating through us. And so, like, really, I think that just this shift is just an invitation and a reminder to choose you, to be authentic to what's showing up for you, whatever that looks like, to be true to this path, to the unfolding you. And the you is not the egoic you, right? Not the, oh, I want to be famous you, because that is something, fame is something that comes naturally if you are in your true self with a capital S, and that happens to be part of your script and your story of what you need to experience. But wanting something in the form because we think it's going to give us, fulfill us, complete us in any way, is an egoic desire. So these are not the desires I'm talking about. These are not spirit-led desires. The spirit guides us from a place of stillness. It guides us from a place of peace, from a place of knowing, of rest, and of joy, of excitement. And it leads us, right? Intuition, spirit is always leading us to something that will stretch us, that will step us into a newer, bigger experience of who we are and of who God is, because experiencing who we are is experiencing who God is, right? It doesn't mean that we are God. It means that we are the essence, the child. We carry the light of God within us. And yet we're playing with a limited structure, right? A limited structure is trying to experience the limitlessness. And so it has to wake up to what it is not, so that it can go back into the mind, to that inner understanding, and release all the concepts, because all of these things in our lives, even our body, are reflections of our concepts, of our mind, of the ideas that we believe in, separation, right? Love. So all these dualistic ideas that we believe in is literally the playground of the ego. And yet we're realizing that we're not the ego, that the ego is the ultimate illusion, that who we are is truly the light, the children of God, right? The one that ultimately meets God in its oneness, right? That ultimately reaches the stage of being one with it, like Jesus did. Yeshua was absolutely one with God, one with the Spirit. That is the way, the truth, and the life. And you would speak through it, 444, as I say that. You would speak from that space if you are one with the Spirit, if you are already one with all. you understand that the way of the Spirit is the way of truth and life. That is the only way, because that is the way of light. Not that the body or the symbol of Jesus or Yeshua was the way, right? Not that his story and only he as a body, as a personality was the way. Rather, he released all these concepts of who he was and entered into the true divinity. And that oneness, that devotion, that purity was the perspective from where he spoke of the way, the truth, and the life. And we are being invited to that way. He is a master teacher and guide that can show us the way, a way beyond, outside institutions, old past concepts that we were taught about God, church, Jesus. Letting go of all of that, man. We are being invited to an understanding that is deeper and greater about love, about God, about who we are. And this is raising the frequency. This is the new, right? The new dimension. Some people will call it 5D. And there are many words that represent that state. We're accessing it. So this is just your invitation, your reminder to choose you, to choose what most expands you, even if it causes you a little fear. It should. It should, because the ego needs to come up to show you so that you can experience that it's ultimately not true. And you walk through it, right? Like a veil. It's like a cloud of smoke, and you think it's a wall of concrete, but it's not. It's not, and you don't know until you take the step, right? Into the unknown, into the next thing, into the next project, the next book, the next gift, the next role, the next city, the next home, into whatever it is. You walk in and you take, I was gonna say you take the ego with you, but I guess, yeah, what you do is that you become observant. You go within and you notice all the patterns that are trying to hold you back from that step, because your highest expansion is in that step, right? It's just it's not about what you're doing. It's not about the fame, if that's what's going to end up happening. It's not about the book, if that's what's going to end up happening. It's not about yoga, worship, whatever it is that, for example, me, worship yoga, that's my new endeavor. It's not about the project, the class, and its success. It's about who I'm becoming on the way to that dangling carrot, because that dangling carrot is expanding me and expanding my mind and inviting me to an experience of who I truly am. That is the point. Whether your worship yoga goes and reaches people and blesses their lives or doesn't, if it works or if it doesn't, if it reaches or if it doesn't, right? Anything, you can replace yoga worship for anything that's happening in your life. Whether it does or it doesn't is not your responsibility and is not the point. The ultimate point is your inner expansion. You're getting to know the true language of spirit, your experience of your true, highest, limitless self that is not bound by the ego. And we break those barriers by moving forward, by our own script, our own story, and where the spirit is leading us through and to, which is ultimately back home, a journey of no distance, like the Course in Miracles teaches us. This is a journey of no distance, and yet we believe we're on it. We've projected this entire experience, and that's okay. It's a beautiful thing to be here because we're discovering this together. We're walking together, hand in hand, you and I. So let's do this. Here we go. The new shift is beginning now, folks.